I don't think I'm.
This has
I don't.
been.
I don't think I'm cutting any of this. We're leaving all this shit in.
It's highly embarrassing, just so you know. I'm semi-professional here, and it's highly embarrassing.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things simply aren't true without checking facts first.
And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
It is Dave and Ryan with December 1773. As always, click in the bottom right to subscribe to our channel and get more of this, the weekly show, and become part of December Nation. With that said, today I'm going to reveal a little bit. I'm going to flash it real quick, right? Oh, okay. That's all you need to see for now. That I have created my electoral map, and as I pointed out last week, I was hilariously wrong in 2016. So. We'll see how this run goes. With that said, I'm going to toss it off to Ryan, who he's not outside and he's not in a car. So I'm not sure. This looks like some kind of building.
Ryan? Yeah, it's not normally a backdrop I use.
No, this is very different. Ryan, what's going on? Are you captured?
I am actually. It's a double host podcast, double guest podcast. We have a mystery guest. He's like he could be our on-air fact checker. But I'm actually at his house. I'm a guest at his house, and he's a guest on the podcast. So
double guest weekend.
Double guest election, pre-election coverage.
Well, I'm ready.
I'm not calling it coverage because is it not correct that we're gonna? Do you want to do something Monday night, Tuesday night?
We certainly can.
I get out of work at 10:30. Can be showered and ready by 11.
Yay! Elections go late. I'll see if I can stay up that long. I'm an old man now.
Well, my bedtime's later, so I can probably stay up in the wee hours.
I might kick it off and then fall asleep on camera. We'll see how it goes.
All right, we'll discuss that off air. But but yeah, so it's double guest podcast this week, and I guess it's fitting considering we got the election going on. So I was over here. Our local team won, Buffalo Bills, so go Bills, which was a little underdog game that we weren't expecting. So that's awesome. But yeah, I've been thinking all day. The election's on Tuesday. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of 2016 that like it was this I don't know, like this pace before the election that like kind of took over. Like it's kind of on everybody's mind and like it's kind of saturated. And this will run right into my first point about political fatigue. Do you have you suffered from political fatigue this cycle, David? Like
no.
You're kind of like over politics.
No, I feel like this has been a very tame election. I mean, we barely heard from Joe Biden at all. And really, Trump's been somewhat. I mean, he's been somewhat in the background. I mean, he's been doing the rallies and stuff now, but I don't know. I feel like 2016 there was a lot more energy behind the both campaigns. To be honest with you,
You think coronavirus change sucked that out of there?
yeah, it probably had some effect for sure. I mean, I don't have any doubt that it had at least an effect on everything. You know, the Trump rallies definitely. I've seen some pictures of some of the more recent ones. I don't know if coronavirus have an effect or not, but they seem like they're packed. And I'm sure Biden wants to use coronavirus as an excuse, but I just don't think people like Joe Biden.
So how do you think that's going to translate into the election, considering that I have a number down here? It's there's like 86 million Americans have already casted their vote for the election, which is, it's over half of what voted in 2016 in totality. So,
Yeah.
I mean, numbers-wise, there's a lot of activity. Do you think that's because we now, instead of having election day, we have an election year as far as being able to cast your ballot?
Yeah, it seems like, see, I might be talking about the old days here, but I remember the last election, you had to go to the place and then you had to place a ballot. You had to go in line. It was a big thing. Now apparently you can just a month or two in advance. And not to be clear, they've always had, early voting for certain cases, but now it's just anybody apparently can just vote whenever they want. I don't know if I like this, to be honest with you. I feel like election day is election day, and it needs to listen. You need to get to the polls. There's no excuse. They're usually open pretty late, depending on when you work. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be an issue to get to the polls.
Yeah, and this is something we've talked about before about like how there should be some resistance to voting. It should not be this like very easy thing that you can just do a month at a time at your leisure. Like it needs to be an event. It needs to be like, I mean, it's argued that everybody should have off on election day. Like non-essential workers go home for the day, kind of thing. Like there's no reason why it's not like that. It's supposed to be important. It's supposed to be an effort if you're able to vote, if you can vote, if you're registered to vote, And we've also talked about the level of voter registration engagement we've seen in all the media and social media, and it's everywhere, celebrities and football, and we're seeing it all over the place. It's on all these apps anytime. Now the new thing with the fact checkers, the fact holders, when you post stuff about election on Instagram, it pops up on the bottom referencing, about election results, and you can come to this website for more information. And
Facebook kind of does this too, I think.
Yeah, they got their Orwellian way to channel you to their Ministry of Truth. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy to seeing the numbers. But yeah, we should have. It shouldn't be easy to vote, and it should be one day. I don't care.
I get. I think
if we can vote during wars, we can vote during a pandemic.
Sure. Yeah, there should be very few exceptions to that.
How about voting day? Just have people there 24 hours. So like, I don't know. We could like work within the means of a 24-hour constraint. We don't need. But anyways, like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's good to vote, but the problem is like anything else. You vote. Let's say you voted earlier in the month, and then this one thing happens, and like, could that be a thing to sway your opinion or your vote or your? I think it just highlights the whole system. How I don't really think it's a good idea to be able to have this like gradients of voting. Like, oh, I already voted. Well, I'm voting on election day. Anytime I get any of these polls, I've probably gotten, let's not exaggerate, 10 or 15 of these political polls, to call and like answer locally, in particular with my local representatives, not necessarily with the national election. Because this is like an open seat. It's a battleground seat here. But yeah, in the introspect of that, they ask me if I'm voting, have I voted, and I tell them I'm going to vote on election day. I'm not voting early. I'm not voting by mail. I'm going there. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to do everything that I do normally any other time, and I'm going to cast my ballot in person on voting day, like we're supposed to, like we have for however long it's been voting day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's cool. People are voting. I always encourage it. Vote 2020. Go Trump. I'm voting Trump. I'm pulling Trump. I don't know what you're doing, Dave, being a swing state. A lot of people in New York say our vote doesn't matter, but all votes matter. So Trump it is. I'm going Trump. And, there's plenty of reasons to pull for him, but I'm not going to discuss that. I'm just hoping he wins. I don't necessarily trust the other party's platform, even if it is relatively similar. I know that their ideology is not what I want, and that's that. So did you want to jump into your favorite segment?
I was there for a good bit of time. Yes, I'm always down to jump into
I was looking
headlines.
At the talking points, man. Sorry. Headlines.
The first one here we posted on our Facebook page. this is a hard one to follow. Have you ever talked to somebody and they're trying to explain somebody to you, and they're like, "Well, it's my aunt's cousin's boyfriend's mom's stepsister."
Yeah, I do
And
it
then
a
you're-
lot in my family, actually.
And you're trying to you're trying to follow it, and you're like, "Who is it now?" Well, this is the headline here. Mother who realized she was gay at the same time her husband came out as transgender say they're happier than ever as a lesbian couple. I don't know if I should say that slower.
Read it again.
So the mother who realized she was gay at the same time her husband came out as transgender, they say they're happier than ever as a lesbian couple.
God bless them.
To be clear, I don't care what people do, but that's the kind of headline that makes your head hurt. Just trying to track it and think about it.
It's a lot of mental math to understand such a simple thing.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Headlines. I think you're gonna like this one because it's about your favorite person.
I hate this guy. I hate this guy.
Justice Department is ramping up investigation into Cuomo's nursing home COVID deaths.
Oh,
Yes, I think a lot of these.
let's hope Joe Biden wins the election then, right?
I guess if Cuomo's probably hoping that.
Because he's going to get a spot in the Biden administration. And then we don't want to say that he would get a pardon for his nursing home negligence, but let's talk about how corrupt Donald Trump's presidency is.
He'll get a pass. So yeah, they were going after a lot of governors who went through this this nursing home. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but a lot of governors. Yeah,
The governors.
They're I hope they all lose their re-elections.
Yeah, and at the same time, he also said last week, I covered it, that he believes that all the states should do what New York did. So,
Yep, worked out well for them.
Yeah, they flattened the curve real well by having the most deaths in America for a while.
Yes, but outside of having more deaths than anybody, nope, they still did bad. Headlines. I like this because it seems ridiculous, but at the same time, I think it's part of a bigger problem. Libertarian candidate Jo Jorgensen snaps at Nickelodeon for leaving her off their 2020 election graphics. So you could look at this two ways. You could look at it simply and say, who gives a shit about a Nickelodeon election graphic? It's Nickelodeon.
So, you mean the place that slimes people on television?
Yes. Yeah.
Slime pool?
But with that said, I think there's a bigger issue going on in this country where we do neglect other voices and other people. I don't think it doesn't have to be the Democrats versus the Republicans. There's other people out there that maybe offer solutions that other people could like, and I think we need to warm up to that a little bit. I think it's probably going to happen at some point, but I think we need to try to move this along a little.
I can tie into that with one of my points that I had was the Kanye West interview with Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
You know, and that's kind of what you can say exactly. Like people that have these abstract ways of thinking or seeing a problem, like a guy like Elon or Bezos, or these hyper-productive people that have this weird way of analyzing problems and figuring out complex thought and being creative and everything. The Kanye interview was pretty good. I don't know if you listened to it, but I made it through all of it, and it's very interesting. It was made you look at him different. You always kind of think of him being lumped in with the Kardashians being just this bimbo, this idiot, even though they're hyper successful people. But very abstract ways of thinking.
I didn't know if you were planning on getting into that at all, but I did kind of want to talk a little bit about that Kanye interview. I thought it was interesting for people who don't take him seriously. He's smarter than he gets credit for.
Yeah, very, very smart.
Here's another one that I think you'll love.
Just broke my fucking pen on air. Broke the pen.
Take his pen. He's gonna get ink all over. We're gonna have to shut it down.
$5 pens, dude.
Too rough on the
$5
pens. Headlines. Walmart pulls all guns, ammo from stores' shelves, citing potential post-election social unrest and violence.
Opposed to the pre-election civil unrest and violence?
Post-election.
Isn't
Which
it
we don't
kinda
know.
weird we haven't heard
We don't know
about
when that's
that
going to be,
lately?
really, because they might count some votes after the election too. Apparently,
I thought that doesn't. Dave, there can only be one day for elections.
no, just make it a couple months.
You can't, dude. You can't fight. David.
When's inauguration?
David.
It's like when do presidents
David. Right, but it's not voting month, David.
when do presidents get inaugurated? January 20.
January 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, the election should go right
Tony,
to
Chris,
January.
fact check.
it should go-
Tony, can you pull up the inauguration schedule for president, please?
It should go right to January 6th. Make it real hectic. We don't know who's getting inaugurated until the day of.
Yeah, why do that? Like, really? Really? There's going to be like a maybe president-elect?
January 20th.
Oh, I was close.
Wednesday
We went-
the 20th.
We literally went to one. No idea what day it was. I got two about.
Doesn't help we didn't get any sleep that night.
If your favorite person is Andrew Cuomo, my favorite person is Jack Dorsey. I got two about. I do not like that man at all. I got two about Jack Dorsey. Twitter CEO says Holocaust denial is not misinformation, but NY Post gets locked out for damning Biden story.
There you go, people. Orwell.
Seems a little
It
inconsistent.
seems fair, right? Seems fair. Unvetted. This was confirmed to not be false. So it's true? No, this is confirmed to not be false.
Confirmed, not false information.
Did you imagine,
So we
like,
got-
your wife? Are you cheating? I mean, no. It's just not confirmed false. You know.
Or better yet, they just plead the fifth. And better than this, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey accused of lying under oath. Ted Cruz specifically accused him of lying under oath. They had a good little back and forth. Basically, he talked about the NY Post article, and he said, well, so anyone can tweet this article now? And Jack Dorsey goes, yep. Ted Cruz goes, he's like, I literally just got flagged for it. It was like right in front of the Senate. You can't lie to the Senate under oath.
Sure, you can. They did it with Michael Cohen. They're gonna do it with Jack Dorsey, man.
So Jack Dorsey, yeah, not a fan of his, and nothing's going to come from that. But I thought it was a good little exchange. I don't have a
Makes
ton
you
of
want to move to Texas like the rest of America.
Yeah. I didn't have a ton of headlines, but I had one. I have one fact check that I wanted to end headlines off with, even though it's not really a headline, because
We don't fact check here, David. We don't believe in fact checking.
this is a ridiculous. I know you went off on fact checking last week, but this might.
I did. I destroyed fact checking. There's
This might.
no,
Well, it's still here, Ryan.
it
It's
should
still
be
here.
dismantled. The gears of fact checking should be slowly stripped apart, and the metal should be used to fabricate something else.
Hold that thought though, because this might change your mind. PolitiFact fact checks a statement that COVID ends next Wednesday, and they said it's false. COVID does not end next Wednesday. Two things about this. First of all, obviously it's a joke when people say that it's going to end after the election. But secondly, how can you fact check the future? They don't know what's happened yet. What if it literally ended next Wednesday? They don't know. You can't fact check a non-known thing. There's nothing to base. There's no basis for that at all.
Could you imagine the retraction if COVID ends next Wednesday? Fact check false.
It's not. They didn't even go. They didn't even go with like mostly false or like maybe. They went for flat out full red false. Doesn't end next Wednesday. We know what happens.
Oh my god, it hurts. They're playing Back to the Future fact checking now. Minority Report level fact checking.
Yeah. The I saw that and I figured you'd like that. That was the most ridiculous fact check I've ever seen. That's the first fact check I've seen that wasn't based on anything at all. It was literally a guess. It's probably still going to be here. False. How do you know? That was the most ridiculous fact check I've ever seen.
Well, fact checks aren't supposed to exist because I said I was going to destroy them. Oh my god, dude. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Fact checking the future. All right. That was all you had for
That was that. Yeah, headlines. I only had a couple.
Yeah, I it's weird. I had a light week for it being the week leading up to the 2020 election.
It kind of was a light week. It was a quiet week.
Yeah. Super important though. The SCOTUS pick got finalized, so Amy Barrett is now a member of the Supreme Court.
Yep.
Which then preceded all week of meltdowns about hating gay people and you want to force women to have babies.
I'd like to point out that a black man confirmed a woman to a Supreme Court justice seat, and Democrats are very upset about it. In a world where they live on color and sex only, they seem to be awfully mad about Amy Coney Barrett. It's the
wrong type of woman.
It's almost like you can dislike somebody for their beliefs and their policies, and not just the color of their skin or the sex or gender of their.
It's weird because I thought we were the party of racists and intolerables and deplorables.
It's weird when I disagree with a black person or a woman that I'm sexist or bigoted, but if they do it, they probably have good reasons.
Yeah, mansplaining is an important thing to recognize, David.
Yeah. All these people who mansplain to Justice Amy Coney Barrett, I think they owe her an apology.
I'm sure they'll get on that. So yeah, she was confirmed, which is weird because honestly, this week has seemed to once again, it was like a light week, but it's weird because with the election overhanging, I thought there would be so much, but it's kind of like this very, that what basically consumed my week was seeing all of this negativity about her being confirmed, and then election breakdown.
Yeah.
Which kind of ties into one of my points about I'm kind of, I'm staying on the track and everything, but I'm kind of fatigued. I have voter fatigue. I have voter fatigue. I have politic fatigue right now. Happened to me at the end of 16 last year. We invest so much of this time to follow the stuff and stay informed and talk about it. And, now with the podcast, we formulate entertainment around it and try to produce content, build a brand around it. It is taxing, man. To every day to be bombarded with this stuff, and it's not always the most positive things, and it's just the lies and misinformation and misrepresentation, and then when the truth is out, it's hard. And I think a lot of people are feeling in America just to feel like that, and I think it's okay to feel like that, but everybody needs a break. Everybody's got to unplug, but it doesn't end on election day.
No, I think that's important to point out. No matter who wins, we're still going to be here. You're still going to be here, and we're gonna have to find a way to navigate through whatever happens. And well, no matter what, it's we're all still going to be around.
Yeah, and I know this program will go several different directions between now and next presidential election, but just in general, it's hard to care 100%, and it's always these things that draw you in, gun control or the Supreme Court or voter fraud or and it's just I think overall a lot of people are feeling it. I know my friends and family are feeling it. It's kind of everybody's burned out with the election, so with it coming up, it's going to kind of be a sigh of relief for the country, especially during the epidemic, which will lead to another point of mine about do you believe that we'll know on election night, or do you think they're going to try to pull the hanky-panky and it will drag out, or we'll not know until the next morning or a few nights away? Or
I don't it's not going to be the same night, but I think we'll have a realistic idea by the morning. Wednesday morning, we're going to have a general idea of who the next president's going to be, and there's probably going to be people no matter what, I think we're going to have some stuff going on both sides. I don't think Biden is just going to concede, and I don't think Trump would just concede. I think if
They both said that. They both
Yeah.
said that to some degree, maybe not explicitly. Trump. I know Trump was
Sure.
quoted earlier in the week saying some things.
if it's a close election, I think neither candidate's going to concede.
Nor should they.
Right.
Let's figure out the
If it's a blowout in any direction, maybe that's a different story though.
What do you mean, like last time, David?
Yes.
With the Russians helping?
Apparently, I didn't see any at my local election booth.
It's
Right.
kind of funny. They bring up the Russians last time, but now that it's like more transparent that our elections get tampered with, now that it's been pointed out that all these different countries are helping both sides and hurting both sides, it's kind of like that's not really a talking point that's volatile for them for this election cycle. The media.
But we were constantly getting reminded that the election is safe and that there's not going to be any of this outside influence going on before it. And then
It's probably weird that it doesn't sound very safe, but then you have voting that's stretched out for a very long time that allows for more actions to happen over an extended period of time of just happening in one day.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting that we were assured how safe the elections were, and then when Hillary Clinton lost, it turned into a 3-year tirade against Russia collusion. I thought it was safe, and there was no outside interference in our elections. That's why we don't need voter ID laws. Isn't that correct?
Conspiracy, right? Well, we've seen plenty of conspiracies brought to light and act as if they had any truth, but the real conspiracies that have been talked about hold no water. Kind of like a pedophile island in the middle of nowhere that rich and powerful people go to, but we don't talk about that anymore because the guy got murdered.
Committed suicide, Ryan.
All right, let's segue to some non-grim shit. Trump critic was unmasked this past week. He wrote, I don't quite remember if it was the book or I think it was the anonymous book, but he was unmasked. I didn't write his name down because I don't really care. Because now it seems like there's no respect in government. They just want to make their book deal and make their millions. So for the people that criticize Trump and all these other people being greedy, they're all greedy. I think this just highlights that you can't trust anybody. Draining the swamp is a hard thing to do for somebody who said he was going to do it. And, it's kind of the whole, haters going to hate or whatever. How do we know this stuff is trusted? How do we know? Because he's an inside guy. I mean, some of the stuff probably can't be vetted. Some of the stuff probably can't be verified. And
Is he one of the?
It's messy and clunky. That's all.
Is he one of the people who is familiar with the matter?
Sources close to the person that's involved. I just think it's funny, that it's all going to come to light right before Election Day. This is the week before the election. What do you expect? This is just once again the grab her by the P word, So the economy, we bounced back, didn't we? Recession over, right, boys?
Would you say the recovery was somewhat, I don't know, if I was to pick a letter, V-shaped?
Well, David, let me ask you something. If I give you $1 and it loses 33% of its worth, okay? So that would, okay. But then, for a month, it stays that value. And then next month, it gains, 32% of its wealth back. What would you call that?
I would say you gave me 99 cents.
So it sounds rather V-shaped in the short term of things.
So when everyone was laughing at the V-shaped recovery idea, were they incorrect?
Didn't they say we were in a recession? Technically, 3/4 with the down.
We were. We absolutely were.
And then we gain the lost percentage of wealth back nearly 1-to-1.
I'd like to point out it took Barack Obama nearly 7 years to get us out of a recession.
3 months get it done.
He knocked that out pretty quick.
Yeah, see a V. Trump's good at taking V's, dude. He just is checks and V's, man.
I liked it. I think I'm going to write a book about it. I'm going to call it
Anonymous.
maybe I'll just make up all the facts too.
What we'll call it is the party that's against economics, and then we'll just put a picture in there of the V.
I'm going to call it "Grab 'em by the V-shaped recovery."
V-shaped upshot.
I got nothing. I'm not going to write a book. Sorry.
Writing a book is hard.
It's way too much work. Reading it's tough enough.
All right, so I got a couple. I just got like election stuff. Another quick thing. I already referenced the podcast about Kanye on Rogan. Alex Jones was on Rogan. I haven't given it the time of day. I love both of them, so I'm looking forward to listening to that this week.
He was on. Was he on again, or you were talking about from like a while ago?
No, this is a fresh one this week.
Oh.
So that should be interesting, highly entertaining. I'm looking forward to that. Right now, looking over my notes tape, I have a lot of just like swing state, not necessarily data, but I just had some points to breeze over.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you did one of the maps. I did not focus on that this week. I focused on the swing states a little bit.
Sure.
So if you want to break down your map and tell us why.
Well, why don't you go to the swing states, and then I'll tell you who I picked for the swing states.
All right. I didn't pick any swing states. I just I looked at what the polling data said for the swing states that I looked up.
Sure.
Let me.
Yeah,
So we got. All right. The swing states were Florida, at least that I've seen on the polls that I looked up. I had at some were saying there was 12 states, others were saying there was 15 states to look. So
Sure.
I kind of just jotted them all together. Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, North Carolina, Arizona, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Ohio. I already said Ohio. Out of that lot, all of them were polling Democrat, except Ohio was leaning for Trump. And then Georgia, Nevada, Texas. Texas, a swing state. We talked about it.
It's not.
Let's not exaggerate. 3 months ago, we talked about Texas as a swing state. So we're going to be seeing this a lot. I saw another headline that said that America is fleeing to Texas.
Yeah.
And like I said last week, people are fleeing to the areas that are built by Republicanism, but they trash talk Republicanism. I think it just highlights how little we know in civics, how much the political parties don't mean anything as far as the label, and people, we got to get better educated so that we don't have these hellholes of liberal cities that just gut all the wealth and makes everybody move out of their homesteads. They're killing all these states. You're just going to keep killing states.
Yeah, definitely.
Can't have it.
So on that list of swing states,
I'm sorry, two more quick though.
Sure.
Minnesota and New Hampshire were the other states. So we're looking at, that's pretty much, if you see any debate coverage, that's what they're going to be focusing on, are those states.
Okay. So we got Florida. That was one of them. We'll go one by one. Florida. I got going to Trump.
Trump, okay. What about Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania. I got Trump. I think
Ohio?
Biden's fracking thing is going to kill him in Pennsylvania. Ohio, I got going Trump.
Michigan,
I have going Biden.
okay. North Carolina.
North Carolina, I have Trump.
Arizona.
I have Trump.
Wisconsin.
I have Biden.
Iowa.
I think I have Trump. I have Trump for Iowa.
Okay. Georgia.
I got Georgia going to Trump.
That'd be nice. It'd be a good grab for him down in the South there, man. Nevada.
I got going Biden.
Texas
is Trump. That's not even. I'm not even.
Minnesota.
I have going Biden.
New Hampshire.
I have Biden all day. I don't think that's a swing either.
But you think Texas is a Republican stronghold still? It's just heavily misrepresented.
Yeah,
I could see it. I just don't hold your breath. You know, Limbaugh's talked about it. We're seeing it. I know I kind of tore into Joe Rogan last week about it, but it's true. Like, don't be coming sprouting these views of all these very liberal ideas that kill the very places that you're loving.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
I could see in the future, if things keep going the way it's going, Texas could eventually turn purplish, maybe even blue, but not. I don't think yet. Too soon. I saw some electoral maps that had New York going to Trump. Speaking of strongholds, I don't see that happening ever.
No.
Yeah, it's
We'd
not
have
happening.
to blow up a couple cities to have that happen.
Yes. I will say I do have a bit of a. I didn't do it. I was tempted on my map to give Minnesota to Trump.
Why?
I think he's going to be sneaky strong in Minnesota. We'll see what happens. I did end up giving it to Biden, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. Because I don't even think that's not even considered a swing state, is it?
No, I don't think so. I didn't have it on my map. Well, on some of them, yes, Minnesota is in play to some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trump in the last week, man. I mean, his rallies are huge rallies everywhere he went.
Mm-hmm.
He went.
Biden had some rallies
Michigan,
too, though. Let's be fair. Biden had rallies
with circles on the ground.
Circles on the ground.
He was hitting the Rust Belt with Michigan and Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Florida, Arizona, Nebraska, all on election week.
Mm-hmm.
That's
he knows who he's got to rally up.
Yeah, he's hitting hard, man.
Let me ask you
I'm
this.
hoping.
Did he go to Texas?
He did not go to Texas.
No, that's because he knows he's got it in the bag. You can tell where they think the election is close because that's where they're going.
Yeah, CNN poll, Biden. This is a headline. Late headline. CNN poll. She get like the Mortal Kombat guy. Whoopsie. CNN poll, Biden leads Trump key battleground states. And in the poll, they even said that Trump won all 6 of these states in 2016. So we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And he was polling behind in all of those. And he was polling
99.
behind in all those states too.
99% chance of losing. So take that to the bank for what it's worth. Like we said this entire time, we won't know. And then I got let me see one last thing. Yeah, we kind of touch base on when we will know the winner of the election. You think it will be the next day?
I think it'll be Wednesday, yeah. I do. I don't think it's... I don't know.
All right, so just to touch base on the numbers one last time before election night. It seems out of all the polls I saw, it was about a 5-point spread for Biden ahead of Trump, which margin of error is like 3% normally. So it's completely possible Trump wins this. Many people, we've said it before, it could be the split. I know Ben Shapiro talked about this week that he thought it could go to the Supreme Court, basically. It would all be split. It would be split here. It'd be split at the electorate. It would be split at this. I don't see that happening, but
it's an interesting theory, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen either.
It'd be a good 2020 power move for the story writers of this year. But yeah, 130 million people voted last year, so we'll see how many people vote this year. 86 million have already voted, so it's pretty cool. People are going crazy. We'll see. I know that they haven't. This was like we said, it was a weird news week considering how much is at stake on Tuesday.
I feel like everybody's just holding off because they know the election's coming.
Yeah, it's the fatigue, man. So yeah, man, that was all I had. I just I want to encourage everybody to go vote. Oh, real quick. COVID cases are rising. 31 states set records, and Europe seems to be having a second wave. So I'm not going to break it down, but we're still getting mismatched information, and COVID's not going anywhere. So we can't shut the economy down.
Are you sure? We could fact check that.
Fuck your fact checking, David. But yeah, that's all I had. Everybody should go vote and get your family out and everything.
I'd like to counter what Ryan has said, and I said you should not go vote unless you know what you're talking about. I will I will not comply to this everybody must vote idea. I disagree. I don't think if you have no idea what you're talking about, if you can't even name, let's say if you can't name 3 people running for president right now, you should not vote. Because
Okay.
you have not done your research.
All right, let's do it then. We'll start a voting commission for voting.
Can we start it? Can we? No, can't do that. Can we start an anti-voting campaign? Don't vote.
Less voting.
Less voting. No vote. The no vote campaign.
Let the elite vote.
I'm going to start the no vote campaign for the next election cycle. We'll see how big we can get it. I don't want you voting. I'm going to be very clear. Don't vote if you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious. Tremendous.
It'd be tremendous.
So yeah, what's the plan for December Nation here? Are we doing a live coverage on our Facebook page on Tuesday night?
I don't know how to do this. I'll be honest with you.
Well, can't you we'll start a live video on the feed and then just invite me? I can join and we'll stream to Facebook just like how I used to do my car videos. A live stream.
Yeah, we
Facebook.
can do that, but I can't live stream from either program.
Do it on the computer.
Yeah, I can't do it from Skype, and I can't do it from.
So we'll just do it. We'll cover it on the Facebook page. I just think we should do some kind of coverage, even if it's not the whole thing. We should just get on 20 minutes, even whatever. We just got to do some kind of video for it.
Yeah.
So we'll. I'll text you about it, but you want me to do the outro and we'll call it quit. We'll call it here.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
All right, man. Well, it's been a publication by December 1773.
Can I stop you? Yeah.
What? Produced publication? We're not a publication.
You have, since you started this, I'd like to point out you've chosen 3 totally different P words.
It's important.
It was presentation.
Presentation, publication.
And then it was a production last week, I think. And now it's a publication.
What is it? So we can solidify it on this.
I don't know. You said it was your thing. I think you said I think presentation is what you wanted.
Presentation.
Just change it every week.
I think you should change it every week. I don't know what it would be next week, though.
Exclusive.
Play it. I'll figure something.
This has been a play of 2020.
Play it.
Play on.
This has been a pre-election podcast. This will drop on Maniac Monday, right before Super Tuesday.
I don't know if any of that's true.
Yeah, right. You're dropping this on Monday.
Isn't Super Tuesday like the crazy during the primaries when all the I think Super Tuesday.
Right.
You're just
right.
you.
I'm hyped up. Go Trump.
I'll give you.
Go Bills,
I'll give you.
Trump.
I'll give you 3 tries at the outro. But if you don't get it on this one, I don't know. We're gonna have to make some changes.
Like with a host or.
I might do a host change up if Ryan can't nail this down on his 3rd try.
All right.
I don't think I'm.
This has
I don't think I'm cutting any of this. We're leaving all this shit in.
It's highly embarrassing, just so you know. I'm semi-professional here, and it's highly embarrassing.
Just try it again. We'll go a couple times. It's fine. Even the greatest actors of the world have outtakes, Ryan.
I'm not an actor, though. Yet. I'll get a book deal. I'll show you. This has been a presentation from December 1773. I am Ryan, as joined by David, as always, behind the keyboard. If you like the video, share the video. Stay subscribed to get all the latest content. And I will see everybody next week when we talk about the presidency. Maybe we'll have a change of leadership or 4 more years of Trump. It's going to be interesting. Stay tuned and see ya.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We might see you on Tuesday. We're going to try and figure out a way to live stream.
We're gonna.
I suppose that would fall under my job duties. Is trying to figure out how to live stream this program here, presentation, production.
Yeah, If not, we're gonna have to figure something out.
We're gonna have this show could look very different next week. We might have a different host and producer. We'll see how it goes. We are
You
both
show
fired.
out. Liberty's just sitting there. Your bird. Freedom, right? Or is it Liberty?
Freedom. Freedom. Freedom.
All right, dude, man. I'll see you. Go Trump.
All right. See ya. This program does not endorse any candidates, for the record.
Go Trump.
That is not an endorsement. Ryan is just personally voting for Trump.
Yes, sir.
I will remain quiet on my vote until
Yeah,
maybe
Mr.
after
Swing Stady.
maybe after the election.
Well, we'll see.
I'm gonna stay quiet because if Trump loses, I don't want any flack. If he loses the whole election on one vote in Pennsylvania, I don't want it on record who I voted for. Could get ugly. There could be some civil unrest. I have to run to a gun-free Walmart. This outro has gone longer than it was supposed to for many
My
reasons.
hands are clean. My hands are clean.
We'll see everybody Tuesday, hopefully. And then next Monday.
Later.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ryan.